Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 offers a grounded medieval RPG experience, but even though it has menus full of detailed tutorials, it's still really easy to mess up. Here are some of the biggest mistakes you want to avoid. KCD2's HUD can be a little overwhelming at first, but don't ignore it. It's important to learn what each line and symbol actually indicates. For example, these vertical lines indicate your max health and stamina, and certain conditions can make them shrink. Likewise, you need to pay attention to your food meter, and you can't ignore a bleeding wound or your need for sleep either. Those will come up again in this guide, but from the outset, make sure you're paying attention to what's on screen. If you're not sure what some of these status circles mean, go to the Player tab of your menu and scroll over to the Buff section. Leveling up in KCD2 is like the Skyrim system, but without all the dragons and wizards. The more you do a certain activity, the better you'll get at it. For example, sprinting raises your vitality levels, while retrieving and riding your horse Pebbles helps you with horse riding skills. Often, when one of these specific categories levels up, you'll earn a perk point. There are a ton of places to spend these, so make sure you take your time in the Character tab in the menu to figure out what best suits your playstyle. And keep an eye on the bottom right of the info panel for exclusive perks. Taking these means you can't take other listed perks in that tree. Trespassing is a crime in Bohemia, but it's really easy to do by accident. If you see that blue symbol on screen, you're not supposed to be there. You shouldn't barge into people's homes, of course, but you can accidentally open the wrong door in public places like taverns too. And if you see a red icon, well, you really aren't supposed to be there, and you definitely didn't get inside by accident. If you're going for a thief build, trespassing comes with the territory. You can steal all the best stuff from behind closed doors. But for everyone else, you need to be wary of it. In the same vein, just because there's an empty bed doesn't mean you can sleep in it. You can hold down the button to do so, but if that bed belongs to somebody, then they're probably going to catch you in the act. This is like trespassing taken to the next level, so be ready to pay the consequences if you pick a bed at random. Instead, look for camps along the roads. Those bedrolls are free for any traveler to use. Additionally, once you get to know Radovan the Blacksmith or Krazel the Miller as part of the Wedding Crasher's main quest, both will offer you spots where you can sleep without issue. Other than these, your best bet is to purchase a bed for the night at the local tavern. Here's another way this game is grounded: fall damage. Be careful around cliffs when you're out in the wild, and don't try to take any shortcuts by jumping off a ledge. Henry can get seriously injured if you do. If you mess up, use bandages to stop the bleeding and sleep when you can to mend your wounds. Otherwise, the HUD we talked about earlier is gonna get really messy. In the same vein, you can't swing your way through combat without any regard for strategy. KCD2's combat is methodical, requiring you to move, block, and aim your strikes from different angles. You're a dude named Henry, not a superhero. Find the weapon you like best and learn to use it well. If you need some help with swords specifically, see our Master Strike guide for one of the most essential combat tactics in the game. Speaking of weapons, realize that you can't just pick up and wield anything you find. Weapons have agility and strength requirements. Tab over on the menu screen to see them. If your stats aren't up to snuff, don't try to use that gear just yet. You'll be too clumsy in a fight to actually deal damage and protect yourself. You also need to protect your stomach. Pay special attention to the freshness of food in your inventory. It's marked by this heart symbol. Eating or drinking something that hits 0 is likely to give you food poisoning. While this can go away with time and rest, it's a big hit to your stats in the interim. Food poisoning drains your maximum health, strength, agility, and vitality, which will kneecap you in many serious ways. It'll even reduce your carrying capacity, which leads to getting over-encumbered, which means no fast traveling. It's also a good idea to keep 1 or 2 digestive potions in your inventory in the event you accidentally eat something you shouldn't have. We're not done talking about food just yet. If you want to keep it from spoiling too fast, you can slow down the process by drying it out. The same goes for all those fresh herbs you can pick for alchemy. All you need to do is visit the drying rack, and there's one in every town. Find it, then simply drop your food and herbs inside to instantly dry them, preserving them for much longer. It's also a good idea to buy pre-dried and pre-smoked food when you can.
I hope you'll be satisfied, my friend.
Finally, learn to make smart use of your savior schnapps. KCD2 automatically saves at certain times, but by drinking a savior schnapps, you can make your own manual save. Now, you might see the save and exit on your menu and think that defeats the whole purpose. Here's the thing, you can only keep one exit save at a time, since it'll get replaced every time you save and exit again, and the game's autosaves don't last forever. Only the most recent ones will remain on your load menu, and you don't get to choose when to make them in the first place. If you want to make a hard, purposeful save without quitting, Save Your Schnapps will let you make up to 30 of them before they start to overwrite. So they're not a moot point, but you also shouldn't chug them for a bunch of quick saves. Like all booze, use it in moderation. These 10 tips ought to help you ease into the learning curve of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. There are a lot of systems at play here, and once you master them, you can turn Henry into the medieval hero he's meant to be. For extra help with quests or combat tactics, you're already in the right place. IGN.